Hello, and welcome to my new moon in Sagittarius reading for December 2021. This is the last tarot card reading I'll be doing for this year, which is kind of crazy. It's amazing how quickly this year has gone by. So welcome if you are new to my channel or new to the videos that I make here. Welcome. It's good to have you with me. And if you've been here before, you already know how it's going to play. So I have 4 decks, and this is going to be the main one. It's the Osho Zen Tarot deck. I'm going to pull 3 cards, one for the individual now, one for the collective now, and then one for the highest possibilities for the next lunar cycle. And then the next 3 decks, we'll just pull 1 card each for just some wisdom from our guides. So I take my time when I do tarot reading. I feel into it. I actually do more of what I call an energy reading. So it's perhaps not traditional tarot as you might be used to it. It's me looking at the picture and then seeing what I see and translating it for you. I have my crystals out, big glass of nettle tea, and some music playing in the background. I don't know if you can hear it. It's the Mushrooms album by East Forest, which in my Spotify Wrapped was my most played album by far. Hours and hours I spent listening to this beautiful music. So if you haven't heard it, I encourage you to take some time and listen to it. It's a 5-hour album, which is the greatest gift possible. Okay, so let's play. This is for the new moon's total solar eclipse, which was last night into tonight. And if you want to read more, there are so many great articles. I would definitely look at the astrology of what's happening. A quick summary, which I talked about in my Guys Love podcast on Thursday, is that this new moon total solar eclipse completes the axis that we have been on with eclipses. And so what started in May of 2020 is now coming to a completion. And we will begin a new eclipse axis next year. So my suggestion is to perhaps look back at what started for you in May of 2020. And much of what I talked about in yesterday's podcast was exactly that. So if you don't listen to the Guys Love podcast, that probably would be a really powerful way for you to tap in with me and see what there is to see. So we're going to focus on right now moving into the next month, the next lunar cycle. So this is going to carry us into 2022. Okay. Let's do individual now first. So we're going to do the top 3 cards. How about that? We'll just keep it super easy. This deck, if you are not familiar with it, is not always as it seems. So the card won't quite portray exactly what you think it might, which is sort of the beauty of Zen. Individual now. Letting go. Like, seriously. After last month's reading, could this be any more perfect? Last month was all about clinging to the past and letting go of what was. Whoa, collective now. Whoa, folks. Thunderbolt. This card. Whoa. And then what did I say? The highest possibilities. Oh, participation. What a beautiful story this is. Oh my gosh, this feels so good. Let's look at these in order. Letting go is the individual, which makes total sense with Thunderbolt. If individuals are falling from this collective experience, they would have to let go in order to fall into something new. And then the highest possibilities is we participate. So even if you look at this card to this card, it's like all of the chaos gets rearranged into this beautiful mandala. Isn't that extraordinary? Same colors, same vibrancy, all the white light. It's just instead of it thunderbolting through, it creates this beautiful flow and movement where all are engaged. Oh my gosh. I feel like there's your reading. Here you go. This is what's happening. And here's your role in it. Okay, well, good job. That was a great reading. Doesn't it feel like that's how we could do it? So awesome. All right, let's spend a little time in case it didn't all come through in those first few minutes for you. Why don't you see what you notice about this card? This is the individual now. So this would be you and me and every single individual ones of us. What do you see? All right, so what I notice right away is actually the ripple in the water. I don't know if you see that or if you're looking more at the green and the water flowing and the shadows, but like I immediately go to right here. Like what just fell here and where are those ripples going to go? And it's the card number 8. It's the card number 8. It's all about infinity. So when you let go, this is the beauty of a drop of water lets go and it drops into the lake or the river or whatever this is. But then all these ripples come from that. And so we're all constantly, and then it goes and evaporates and goes up. Like this is the condensation cycle. Remember from basic science way back when we were kids? It's always just being regenerated into something else. And that's the number 8. It's constantly coming into something new. And so when you let go of one known way, this drop of water, and you enter into the next, you merge into a new experience that just becomes something else that then recycles, that comes back into this. And so it never, what is it that people say? Like energy never goes away. It just moves into some other form or becomes something else. It doesn't disappear. And I feel like that's what this card is saying. It's also very peaceful. I feel like so if this is for an individual, which it is because we pulled the individual card, you could be anywhere in this experience and be having your own individual moment or understanding. So you could be the green leaf that's just existing and allowing water to move through you and drop into whatever it's going to do. You could be the water that's waiting for the drops to fall in so you can hold them and catch them and support them. You could be the drop of water that's actually having the movement. You could be the light that's playing and creating all of the light and the shadow. Within this one image, there are, so many individual experiences. And I think sometimes we forget that. I think we believe, because perhaps this is where our attention goes, like I am this leaf and I'm waiting for water to drop so that I can be the mediator that drops the water down to the bigger reservoir of water. I am this. And so everyone else must be this too. Every other person must be experiencing what I'm experiencing because I'm experiencing it. And so we kind of lock ourselves, our reality into this. This is what I know, and this is what everyone else must know too. But look at everything else that's playing out. There's like just so much. There's so much. And if we can pull our lens back and be able to see, all of it. So for example, we're focusing on this card and maybe this leaf. If we can look at the card in relationship to my hands, in relationship to my body, in relationship to the new moon manifestation circle, in relationship to the room, there's so many layers of what is being let go. And so does it serve us to just keep our focus right here in this one little area and believe that that is all that is true? Like, is that really the full picture? And I don't believe it is. So if we bring the individual now, and again, the message is letting go, like actually letting the process flow and move and seeing that there's so much more, letting go of whatever your limited, constricted, as I talked about in the Gaia's Love podcast, your constricted understanding of reality, expanding that, opening that up, letting go of the old belief. This little microcosm with the plant could be sitting right down here in the corner of this whole big thunderbolt experience. Here's this tiny little bit of water and a plant, and it's like right here in the corner. And so we think this is the whole, I am the individual. This is the whole of everything that is happening right now in reality. When really, we're down here. There's this whole big thing that is collectively happening. So perhaps part of letting go individually is understanding we're part of a much bigger co-creation. Doesn't mean we let go and we don't participate, because the highest wisdom from our guides is participation. Participation, not disappearing and ignoring the world, but participating in the world. So we'll move to the collective now. All right, see what you see first. What do you notice? So much, right? I'm going to try and move in a little closer so you can see what's actually in. There you go. Perhaps we should read a little bit from this card, because Osho has a way of saying it much more clearly than I do. And it's a major arcana card, which if you don't know what that means, it means this is like a major life event. And since it's the collective now, this is like a major collective now event for all of humanity, which, you know, I've been feeling for a while, and I am sure many others do as well. Hey, also look, I have the Thor card or the Thor cup. Signs and synchronicities, I would say. I was actually just talking about this in the energy gym on Friday, that I really have a sense we are collectively about to experience some sort of truth awareness or veil lifting in another big level. And I feel like the completion of this axis of eclipses that started in May of 2020 is kind of the, as I talked about in the podcast, it's like sort of the deadline. So here's, you know, May 2020, which is when lockdown started, all the way through till now. And here's the sort of deadline. And well, let's complete that. Let's look at all of that. And then what's coming next. And I have the sense this is the sort of transition time in between, which is a major arcana event for humanity. So yeah, kind of a big deal right now. All right, so here's what Zen has to say. What meditation does slowly, a good shout of the master, unexpectedly, in the situation where the disciple is asking some question and the master jumps and shouts or hits him or throws him out of the door or jumps over him. These methods were never known. It was purely the very creative genius of Matsu, and he made many people enlightened. Sometimes it looked so hilarious. He threw a man from the window from a 2-story house, and the man had come to ask on what to meditate. And Matsu not only threw him, he jumped after him, fell on him, sat on his chest, and said, "Got it?" And the poor fellow said, "Yes," because if you say no, he may beat you or do something else. It is enough. His body is fractured, and Matsu, sitting on his chest, says, "Got it?" And in fact, he got it because it was so sudden, out of the blue. He could never have conceived of it. Sometimes, many times, that is what an awakening looks like. It's like you're just, you know, going along with your life, doing your thing, and then boom, something happens, like massive truth bomb, or someone shows up in a way that they've never shown up before, and like, what? Your world just gets thrown out the window. So here's what the commentary says. And I'm giving you all of this because I feel like when our mind has images and words that it can latch onto or remember when we're in that moment of being thrown out the window, there's a path that presents itself, or some structural truth that comes through, and we can hold on to that when everything else is falling apart. So I talked about that in yesterday's podcast. So that's another thing for you to hold on to. Look at the Gaia's Love podcast, 411 reality check. And we talk about like, how do you navigate a time when everything feels like it's falling apart and you don't know what's true and what isn't true? And so there's actual steps that I suggest, like do these things and you'll have a path. So here's the commentary. The card shows a tower being burned, destroyed, blown apart. A man and a woman are leaping from it, not because they want to, but because they have no choice. In the background is a transparent, meditating figure representing the witnessing consciousness. You might be feeling pretty shaky right now, as if the earth is rocking beneath your feet. Your sense of security is being challenged, and the natural tendency is to try to hold on to whatever you can. But this inner earthquake is both necessary and tremendously important. If you allow it, you will emerge from the wreckage stronger and more available for new experiences. After the fire, the earth is replenished. After the storm, the air is clear. Try to watch the destruction with detachment, almost as if it were happening to somebody else. Say yes to the process by meeting it halfway. So what does all of that mean, right? Oh, my nose. What does all of that mean? So the card shows you, the card that gives you it gives you an image with so much information that when it does feel like the truth bomb or whatever is going to happen that brings awareness to you, whenever it comes in, your mind can go to this image and go, okay, so I remember seeing lightning bolts and all this, like they show in the cartoons, where the cartoon character gets hit by lightning and their head goes and they have like an electrical circuit frying. You'll remember that. That's what this awakening can feel like, or this truth awareness can feel like. And so it looks like the human experience is people falling to the ground. But if you can tap into this image of the meditating figure in the background and then lean back. So just trying to think of a good example. We'll just use a basic one. I know the sky right now looks blue. So let's say somebody comes in tomorrow and they're like, or isn't there, the sky is falling, the chicken comes in, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. It's an old fairy tale story. So let's say I know the sky is blue and someone comes into my home tomorrow and they are pointing at the sky and they're like, the sky is green. It's green. You can't see that it's green. Don't you realize it's green? How do you not see that? Everyone else knows it's green. It's green. Are you kidding? It's green. And I'm here going, but I don't know if I believe that. It's blue. I know it's blue, but you're telling me everyone says it's green. And so you're trying to come to some sort of inner clarity instead of leaning in and being like, what's happening? What do you say? What's going on? Tell me about the lightning bolts. You lean back and you go, well, that's interesting. Looks like it's kind of intense. Looks like there's a lot happening. A lot of people yelling, a lot of people jumping around. There's all this stuff going on. What if I try to be this quiet, meditative, reflective figure in the background? And so what that might look like is saying to the person who's come to my front door, oh, thank you. Thank you for telling me that the sky is green and that everybody else believes that the sky is green. That's awesome. I'm going to go back inside now and you can go home. So thank you for coming to tell me. And we politely usher them out. We close the door and then we go inside and we're like, I'm going to just sit quietly and close my eyes and go into myself. And I'm going to remember this image, right? And when I remember this image, what I might remember is way back, that old science again, way back in grade school, where my teacher kind of blew my mind because they're like, the sky isn't actually blue. The sky is constantly reflecting and refracting, is that the word? Light and prisms. And so it's just reflecting an image or I can't even tell you right what the answer is. I'm going to have to go look it up now and put a link in the description. There's some reason why the sky is appearing to be blue, but it isn't actually blue. It isn't. It's just I believe it's just clear. It's just a neutral space. It's like when I realized that the moon doesn't actually glow. The moon is simply reflecting light from the sun, like a mirror from the sun to earth. And so we just see it as glowing, but it doesn't have its own light. It's just reflecting light from the sun. And so there's all these magical ways that light and energy and information and science and consciousness are playing together. And when I close my eyes and I go inward and I'm not engaging in all of the intense dialogue and stuff, I might remember way back in grade school where I learned that. And so then I can sit with, well, I thought the sky was blue. I look at it and it looks blue. It appears that that's my reality. They think it's all green. What if it's all true? What if it's every color? What if it's no color and we're all wrong? And so the meditative mind is like, wow, this is fascinating. Now what are we going to do? And so the collective now could be, you could be, again, like this card, you could be anywhere in this picture, or you could be in the whole thing happening behind the picture. In this, you could still be down here in this little isolated place going, I'm just a drop of water in a little ripple. And I'm looking at the chaos and whoa, is it a lot? I'm going to stay down here in my little bubble of water. Or you could be the meditative, big picture energy that's going, wow, is this collective now fascinating, mesmerizing. And also, I don't have to go in there and try to fight with everybody. Or you could be one of the people that's jumping out going, the sky is green and the grass is blue. I don't know. I'm just translating the energy as I feel it. So we could be experiencing lightning bolts. We could be experiencing chaos. We could be down here experiencing just peacefulness, or we could be the constant presence behind all of it, simply waiting to see where are we guided to go next. How do we navigate through this collective now next? Which leads me to the highest possibilities for the next lunar cycle. Let's look at these side by side, and I'm going to do that deliberately because I'm blown away at the colors and the way the energy realigns. So this is the collective now, and then the highest possibilities for the next lunar cycle. So notice what you see in the participation card. All right. I mean, obviously what I see is the way everything gets rearranged and put into some sort of order. Order, isn't it? Flow, put into flow. And so it looks to me like there used to be a game that had these same sort of images. I can't think of it right now, but you might remember that too. But it looks like everything goes into this sort of yin yang center place, but then it's flowing and moving in and out of all of these different, it doesn't feel like a compass. It doesn't feel like points or directions. It just feels like playgrounds or spaces, you know, like you could pick yellow or red or green or blue. You could move, you know, in and out of any of them. I don't get the sense it's like you have to be in one. You can move in and out of any, and perhaps participation is you start in one area and you move through the others. It's reminding me of when I was in high school. When I started ninth grade, I was living in Dayton, and there was a school called Centerville High School, and I'd gone from the middle school to the high school, and they put us into pods, and the feeling I get is like pods. These are like pods, and they were labeled the direction, so you were in west or east or north or south, but, and I don't know if it's still that way, that was That was a long time ago. That was many, many moons ago. Many, many moons ago. That's so funny. So these feel like pods, but you would go to school. It was all one school, and you would start in your pod, and most of your classes and your lunch would be there. But I think ultimately you were supposed to move in and out of the different pods as you went through high school. You didn't stay in, like I was in West, and you don't stay in West the whole time. You're going to move around, but that's like your home base for that year. And it kind of feels, I don't know why all that's coming right now, but it is. It feels like there's sort of a grouping or a pod in which we feel safe. We feel like this is our community or our tribe or our safe place where we can express ourselves and participate. And also, we're not meant to just stay in one. We're going to, move in and out of all of the others. And perhaps when we look at these cards side by side, if this is the collective now, and this is what the highest possibilities are for the next lunar cycle, which in one cycle, in 1 month, we're going to go from this to this. I don't know. I feel like maybe it's this is what's breaking down, and by the next lunar cycle we will have this as a possibility, but done doesn't feel like it's gonna be done by then. But if you see how in this one it's like all energy, electricity that's throwing everything around, where here it's come into some sort of organized flow. I was going to make a point about that, and now I don't remember what it was. I guess my point was that, is it really going to get done in a month? Probably not. Yeah, I feel like it's perhaps the way to describe it is in order for this to be a possibility, it must already exist somewhere in here. The seed of it must be here in order for us to have that as an outcome. So so can we tap into that, right? Like collectively, if this is where we're moving, can we tap into the seed of that? And maybe that's what this meditative time and stillness is about. It's like, where in here is the origin of this? It must exist. So can we find the origin when we just pull back and just observe what's happening and listen to people going, no, the sky's green, it's green. Can we go, okay, somewhere in here is the seed of these pods, the seed of this experience of participation. And so I'm going to meditate on that, or I'm going to visualize that. I'm going to feel into that, which now gives me some sort of focus or guidance instead of watching the chaos or tuning into the intensity. Instead, I'm going to picture this and feel into this, which I talked about in yesterday's podcast. Maybe this is a good comparison also. I talked about how, my greatest lesson over the last year and a half has been this clarity about fear versus love, and always choosing love in every micro moment as often as possible. Whatever it was, as often as possible. Getting a little tongue-tied on the words here. So, what was I just saying? Oh my gosh, that's so funny. The music has me so relaxed right now. It's like this beautiful little piano sort of thing that is just so joyous. It feels so joyous. Oh, fear versus love. So I feel like this card shows it. Like, this is fear playing out. This is love playing out. It's the same colors. It's the same energies. It's the same consciousness, because the seed of this must be in here. But when we're in the chaos and the fear, we can't tap into very easily, usually, what that love is. Maybe we can tap into it, but usually not. When we're in fear, we're focusing on fear. So if we could be aware that we're focusing on fear and shift to love, and then find love anywhere in this chaos, tap into the frequency of love. Love kind of emerges, it bursts forth, it expands, and then the fear recedes. So it's like this happens, right? Like it does that. And suddenly what you're focusing on is love, and you can't even see the fear anymore because this is where all of your attention goes. That was cool. That was cool. You know what I love about these card readings is I can't map it out or plan it or come up with those like card things, but when they flow through, I mean, how powerful is that? Like love, participation, love. Okay, shall we do wisdom from our guides? Let's do that together. Okay, I have East Forest singing to me. I mean, new moon in Sagittarius, which is all about travel and play and fun and relationships and friendships and connection. You know, I feel like East Forest is one of my friends. He doesn't know it yet, but I hear his voice and it's so familiar now. It's beautiful. All right, our next card is going to be the Vine of the Mystic. If you do not have this yet, you need to reach out to Deb, and her link to buy this card deck is going to be in the description. They're so cool, and Deb is just awesome. Okay, so we are going to pull the third card down. We'll pull the third card. And what should we ask about? Let's ask about letting go. What is there to know in this moment about letting go? And we'll see what it says. 1, 2, 3. Can't read what the word is. Holding. That's interesting. Holding, but I'm talking about letting go. Let's see what she has to say. What do you notice about this beautiful being? Oh my gosh, look at her necklaces. She's got like butterfly ears. These are so cool. Card number 15. Let's see what she has to offer us. Hang on, I need both hands. I feel like today I am just a little bit slower on the moving and holding end. All right, here's what it says. Oh, the seeds you are holding take time. The potential you have is abundant. You need help to germinate them. It's time to create a fertile environment to plant your seeds of abundance. Patience is required. The perfect conditions are being created on many levels. Nurture yourself spiritually, physically, and mentally. Feed your soul. Oh, that's so good. I feel like it's sort of the bridge from letting go and trusting like the process and that it's all unfolding as it's supposed to. And then putting the seeds in, like I was talking about, the seed of the participation sits somewhere here in the Thunderbolt card. And so if you can focus on that and then hold that, and what did she say? Plant, where did she talk about that? The seeds you are holding take time. Nurture yourself physically. It was feed your soul. Why did I think I saw the word plant? Hold on a second. Oh, I know what it was. You need help to germinate them. It's time to create a fertile environment to plant your seeds of abundance. Okay, I knew I saw it in there. So if this is love and this is fear, let's plant the seeds of love and abundance in fertile soil and then water them and tend to them and germinate it and allow it to evolve so that this participation births from this tender holding of the seed of this. That's beautiful. It's backwards. I've shown you the wrong side. So good. She's holding the seeds. Do you see that? I don't know why I made it a she, but she feels like a she. And I love her little antenna. It's like she's attuning to where to go. Like, you know, the Thunderbolt card, everything is falling down, but we know that this is going to emerge from it. and her antenna can you see that? Can like guide her and show her which way to go so that she knows where to plant these seeds and how to cultivate them. This card feels so gentle and steady and peaceful. It's like, yeah, there's this long-term thing happening. Long-term. So take your time and like plant it carefully and then watch to see what happens. Thank you, Deb. Thank you, thank you. All right, let's pull. I love the colors in these cards too. Like there's so much reds and oranges and pinks and root chakra colors. It's awesome. Oh, I didn't show you. Wisdom from our guides from the Light Seers Tarot. And we're going to ask more about the Thunderbolt. Like, yeah, just more to know. What would our guides have us know about this major arcana collective humanity thing that is about to happen or underway right now? What's the collective now? So it's currently happening. So what would our guides share with us about this Thunderbolt energy? Third card down. Aha! Oh my God, this is funny. I don't know if I've shared this with you guys before, but this is the card. This is the card in relationship to the Thunderbolt. Same colors, same white light, just a different way of transmuting it. Can you see that? So here, the guidance is just sit in meditation and pull back and allow yourself to observe the situation. Here, it feels like the wisdom from our guides is saying, and you can actively transmute all of this energy. You can shift it. You can bring it into something else. So you hold up your wand, you do your magic, you bring all of that electricity, Thor thunderbolts, into the palm of your hand, and then transmute it. So what do you want to do with it? And I feel like she's making all these little lights at her feet. She's like, it's coming into her hand. She's capturing a little bit of the light and then putting it down all around her. Here's the cool part about this card. Check out that little one. Can you see? This is how I knew my black cat was going to come to me. So I feel like this card is also saying, be open to the signs, be open to the magic, be open to the guidance, because we're going to show you the pathway so you can manifest the things that you want to. So I saw this card. Well, I had this card show up. How did it happen? I believe it was like I pulled the card just in one of my journaling times over a year ago, and I saw the cat, and I hadn't seen the cat before, and I was like, whoa, what is this? My video just did something funny. What is this black cat? That's so funny. My video is freezing up. Let me give it a minute to see what it's doing. We'll keep going. We'll see what happens. So here's this little cat. It shows up, and I'm journaling and writing. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's this black cat that's going to be coming to see me or coming to visit, or maybe I'm getting a black cat. And I tell my family, they're like, I don't think I told my family yet. I had a dream right after that. And in the dream, I saw the black cat, and she like came up to me, and her eyes were bright green. And I was like, oh my gosh, who are you? And she's like, my name is Jade. And I'm like, Jade? Okay. So the next day I tell my family, I'm like, hey, I think we might be getting a black cat with green eyes, and her name is going to be Jade. And I'm looking up the definition of Jade and how Jade brings, abundance and play and like all these magical things, like the crystal jade. And so I just sort of put it to the side. I'm like, well, it's going to happen if it's going to happen. A couple weeks later, my daughter's best friend posts this picture, and she's got this tiny little kitten that had been abandoned by a mom with like 2 other kittens, and she and her family were bottle nursing these kittens. And so I went over and met her. I'm like, yep, it's Jade. Her eyes were not even that color, I don't think. And we waited until she was bottle fed, and then she came to stay with us, and she's been here now for a year. And this is what she does. She literally, my meditation room over there, she will come and she will sit next to me or sit at my feet, right like this, and help me like run energy and take a nap while I'm doing my magic. So I feel like this is a very long story, but it's just so perfect how it shows up. I feel like at this new moon, the collective now is experiencing this thunderbolt, this breaking down of what we have known. And so when we ask our guides for wisdom and we say, okay, we're going to be the witness in consciousness, we're going to pull back and we're not going to be engaged in all the intensity and the, sky's green stuff. What do we do? What else do we do? And our guides say, believe in manifestation. Allow this to simply be energy that falls or gets called, not falls, gets called into the palm of your hand. And then you transmute it, direct it, give it a focus, and manifest it into your current reality. Create whatever it is you want to create. So if everyone else is jumping and falling and not sure what to do because of this lightning bolt current of energy, you be very conscious and deliberate and manifest with that powerful energy. How do you do that? You pay attention. You see the signs of things. You trust the messages in your dreams. You write in your journal. You meditate, but you act from the meditation. Like this is just saying, observe, witness. Look for the seed, perhaps, right? That was another guidance. Look for the seed of love in all of the fear. This is taking it to another level. It's saying, our guides are saying, you want something else you can do? Use that energy and manifest. Make magic, your magic, whatever your magic looks like. So if you look up close, these are like little tea candles. So she's bringing magical stardust into her hand and then manifesting little things of light, little candles. Yours could be anything. It could be a book, a podcast, a piece of art, a class, a relationship, money. Maybe this is how we print money in the future. We like manifest it into our hands and boop. Who knows, right? So highest possibilities from our guides for the next lunar cycle. All right, one more, and then I think I might go take a nap. One more. Oh, lots of energy this week. I have been witnessing and supporting a lot of this week. I'm ready for a little bit of rest. Okay, this is, and also I love what I do, so I'm not complaining. It's been absolutely magical this week. Just so good. All right, last card, Mystical Shaman Oracle. And we are going to ask our guides clarity about participation. Tell us more about participation, please, oh wise ones. Tell us, what is there for us to know about participation? Because participation could be this, and that's not the card we pulled. That card says thunderbolt, falling to the ground, everything deconstructing. This card says participation in like this really beautiful, flowing, energetic way. They feel like very different interpretations. Okay. Third card down, and we are asking for clarification about participation. Do you wonder sometimes like how people know when it's time to stop and pull the card? I mean, we don't know. We just trust when we're like, okay, we're kind of done. Like, that's it. There's no card counting or any of those things that happen. Third card down, 1, 2, and 3. So good. I mean, maybe you know by now. I think all the cards are so good, but what is there to know about participation? And the card is water. Doesn't that just bring peacefulness? All right, so take a look and see what you see. What do you notice? What I immediately am drawn to is the parallels with this. We started the reading with this one drop of water creating ripples. And we end the reading with this beautiful card that has all of these droplets everywhere. And it almost looks to me like the water, like this droplet is coming out of the water. You know, here it was falling in, down. This feels like it's emerging out of the water. It's being created from the collective experience. So water represents consciousness in how I see it. It represents like the subconscious, the emotional experience, the fluidity, the flow of the human, of not just the human journey, but all journeys. It's like everything is just movement of energy constantly. And so if we ask about participation, and we want more information about participation, what I get as the answer from this card is everything is interconnected. And it's like that condensation cycle. Remember I said at the beginning, like we start here and then it evaporates and it comes back down as rain. It feels like that. Everything is in motion and energy and solid, and it's all. There was a great post by Zach Bush that I shared. It's on his Instagram, probably on his Facebook too. But he talks about, it was just last week, he talks about, I gotta make sure I have it right, like the hologram of Earth. And he said everything is a combination, I believe, of energy and or wave and light particle, energy and wave. You have to read his blog. But he says everything is just energy in motion that's manifesting into something physical because we put so much attention on it and we create it or see it or bring it into form. And these are my words. You'll have to see what he says. But I feel like this card is saying when we are all participating, which we all always are, but when it comes from love and not from fear, we can see the magic that it is. We can take the formless and bring it into form. Like this card, we can take light and create physical. And I think this card is saying the same thing. We bring the formless into a form. We come from all of this and one droplet emerges, but that one drop of water is filled with all these other waters, all these other drops. And there's this radiant light that comes as it emerges and is brought into form, which, you know, is similar to this. It's like this emerges from the light and the destruction of this card. It comes forth from that. And I feel like the same is happening here. So the highest possibilities for the next lunar cycle, that's not what we asked. We asked for wisdom from our guides about the participation. And the wisdom from our guides is this answer of water. So you can take it as the emotion energy answer I just offered, which is subconscious, and we're all interconnected and we're all creating and birthing and emerging constantly, and all of this flow. You can also take it very literally and physically. In order to have this experience of participation of love, not fear, focus on your water. So drink your water from a superhero cup with a lightning bolt on it and take the fear and bring it into participation in love and joy. Write on your water bottle, blessings, love, truth, participation, letting go, tranquility, peace, abundance, inclusiveness, like whatever the words are, write that on your water bottle and infuse the water with this light, with this energy, with this consciousness that then is brought into your body. When you drink water, when I drink water that's been blessed by Thor, because I think Thor is like this great, powerful superhero who wants to save the world. When that's the energy of what I'm drinking and I bring it into my body, every cell in my body is receiving superhuman, superhero energy. And it comes in and it's like rewiring at a cellular level who I am. Do the same. Who do you want to be? What do you want to shift to? How do you want to participate? If love is the frequency you're going to tap into and not fear, align with the water, have the water as your ally, and then see what shifts. Wisdom from our guides. You can also look at what the card deck says, which will offer you another whole experience. But the other last little nugget, everything in this card is like blues and whites. So in the chakra system, you know, these are lower chakra colors. The root, the red, orange, yellow are all the lower chakra colors. This is like above the heart. Now we're going up, right? From the blues to the purples to the whites. So I feel like the wisdom from our guides is this is the root. This is the root energy, participation and love. It's going to bring you into this higher realm, and it's going to activate the higher consciousness for you, which really just takes all of this intensity and brings it up, runs it up. So it's like you get everything deconstructed down, and then you emerge through this consciousness going up. Okay. I feel like we just went on a whole little consciousness journey there. Sagittarius is all about play and fun, and travel and adventure. And I feel like we did that right here. So no more summaries needed. You received the whole thing. I am going to get the video combined, and I'm going to go make the meditation. I do a new moon meditation each time I create these tarot card readings. And I take what has come through here and then flow through a 20-25 minute guided meditation that brings all of the pieces together and then gives you a process. So if we're moving from fear to love and everything is being deconstructed, and we're being invited to start using this energy to manifest, to make, you know, something physical from the non-physical, to emerge, then I got all caught up in this. I'm like, that's such a cool card. The guided meditation offers you a pathway to do that. And it lets me hold your hand as we're in that journey together. So you can find the link to that in the description. It's $11 to exchange for that. There's also music that will be accompanying it, probably the music we were just listening to. Yeah, and then I will be creating an ending of 2021 guided meditation that we will be doing on December 27th together. It's really an energy healing session, but it's in community. So everyone will call into the same phone line, and your lines will be muted, and I will be guiding you through a community process of looking at this past year and integrating and releasing what is ready to let go. And then the 3rd of January, 2nd, I think it was the 2nd because it's 2022. The 2nd of January, we will be doing a welcoming arrival community embodiment session over the phone, just like we did on the 27th. But this one is focused on what are we doing? What are we doing in 2022? And so those pages will be set up. The products will be set up soon. I don't have them ready just yet, but they will be in the next week. Maybe if you are not currently receiving my newsletter, I would suggest going to my website, viviangerard.com, sign up for the newsletter, and then you will be notified as soon as that is available, and you can sign up to join us. All right. If I don't see you on those calls, I will see you in a month for our next new moon tarot card reading, or you can follow my podcast and you'll have a couple more sessions with me there before we close up the year. Okay, so much love. Have a beautiful new moon.